What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. It's the channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And today, man, it's about to get deep, man. So you might want to hit that share button, especially if you have members in your family that, that's real resonated with this title. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna get deep, and especially the way that we was taught. Now we can see how they even control like different parts of the world. A lot of people hear people say that, but it's literally parts of the world divided. And the way that they look at it is through like, all 12 of the houses, and just look at it as that. So today we're going to be talking about marriage, which some people was considered the seventh house. And I'm going to explain why marriage is even exists in the seventh house, and explain what balance and duality and all that even have to do with when you are playing your vows. And it's not even about your vows to one another. Seeing that's the thing where it gets chased from, because they want one another is from a body to a body. That ain't even where it goes. You know what I'm saying? It's out the gate. That's already wrong. Because now when we look into a Bible, we got to realize that it is actually a spiritual book, not an actual history book or talking about what a great historian has actually did. No, it's giving us degrees and levels of how things work and how things is operating. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, some people don't understand that. So that was just the best way for me to explain it, right? So some people don't understand that. So what they do is they read the whole Bible like everybody's a person in it. So out the gate, this is where a lot of this confusion come from. Because now that you have hired a middleman, and not only is the middleman like supposed to be, you're supposed to have a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to be married, aka y'all supposed to have a bond with God. The bond come from within you, from yourself, just individual. You don't need no one else for this type of stuff. This is talking about finding balance within yourself, right? Because we have thoughts and we have feelings and emotions, right? Where your thoughts and your ideas and stuff is separated with your masculine energy, right? Which will represent the man. And your feelings and emotions is represented with the feminine energy. So now when it says that, when it's talking about the bride and the bridal and all this here, we can understand why marriage first started off as a man getting married to a woman. Let's not get that confused, right? Because at the same time, now y'all can still see how it was just trying to give you an allegory, but people brung it actually down and thinking that what it actually means. So let me tell you something. If you have an unbalance and within yourself, this is like with having arguments within yourself, right? Like as in your emotions and your thoughts is not being aligned. And a lot of times, not even just aligned, but aligned in Christ. So saying that you built the bond with God. So that's the reason why a lot of people get married in churches from the beginning and stuff like that, or courthouses where something is basically justified. So it's all talking about the seventh house energy. I just want y'all to know that from astrology point, right? But when you're looking at it and you see that all of these is talking about a connection and a bond, when you build a bond with God, which is being able to actually have a, I don't know the exact word they use for it, but basically having a church that's pure and, is able for God to be able to come in, is not actually talking about somebody going to build a church. No, it's talking about your mindset. You know what I'm saying? The way that your mind is aligned. Because if you don't have your mind aligned with God, therefore you don't have your own mind. So this is where it get tricky at, right? Because not only did they get you from when they got you out the gate from making it think it was a human thing, they also got you out the gate from confusing you and having that they place the God theory. Because why? When you get married in this real law and land, you get what? A lot of rules. You get a lot of restrictions. It ain't about what you could do no more. Things apply different. Even when you put in a job application, they ask you, is you single, married, widowed, or what? Right? Because now they have control over your what? Your seventh house, which is this part of their life they control it. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know how I get when I be trying to get up in here. But anyways, hopefully I'm not talking too fast, because this the way that it goes off in my brain, and I be trying to get it all out, bro. And be trying to get it so quickly out. And plus it's a video. You can always rewind if you having problems, trust me. But anyways, this how that jump be hitting. That Mercury get to hitting from and grit to grabbing stuff from a different area. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has that ability, but they have to get it to being cleansed and unlocked through the right way. Because just like I was just explaining, with us having these feelings, these emotions and stuff, we build them around the world that we living in. We don't live our life, you know what I'm saying, according to how we want to. We live our life according to how the world expect, the social statuses and stuff like that. So what they do is they give you somebody that has a higher power of social status for you to get married within. So it could be like that. But now they water it down so much, they don't care how you do it. They don't care if a male and male get married. They don't care if a female and a female get married, which is still breaking down the sense of saying, hey, even if we approve it, you just said that we're technically God. So if we could change and modify it, the energy you're giving off, your mind, no matter if you know it or not, because that means you're just blind, that we have control over your spirit. Basically, you're giving us that control. You telling God, like, yo, God, I ain't giving my life to you. I'm giving it to them. That's what you're basically doing. Yeah, whether you want to accept it or not, I'm trying to tell you, dog, it's messed up. But this is what these people do. So when they modifying it to make it fit y'all needs, that's just helping the demons eat and get what they feed off of, right? Because it get the money to the sense to be like, hey, why we can't have our own marriage? And at the beginning, it's all wrong. It wasn't talking about marrying somebody else. You need to build a relationship with God and yourself before you even go to creating and giving birth, aka not talking about just having kids, but just talking about giving new ideas and new thought forms to this earth to say that this is what's new. Because the thing is, it's not going to be new. It's going to be renewed because you're using a Mason mind where they have plenty of other people to come and use that same mind before you came. So it get tricky. See, and this is the reason why people don't understand. It's almost like Christians like to walk into being reincarnated because everything they're doing is on a recycled path where someone has already did that. And they weren't telling you to do the same thing they're doing. They were telling you to do different steps. But if these things affect you the way that it affected me, which is the path that I'm on, the agreements that I'm trying to get, I'm trying to have my alignments of my thoughts and my feelings actually getting along. Hey, this is where it went wrong at. So it was trying to explain that. But people was like, nope, then follow this person or follow this. No, man, that's when it already get too far gone. So at the end of the day, it's always just talking about finding balance within yourself. And once you find that balance, before even saying, yo, this balance is perfectly balanced and judging it and saying, hey, let God be the judge of that. And saying, hey, I'm putting this out on the showroom floor. I'm bringing this to the world. No. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about how you build that relationship. And now God is basically giving you, because he can, because, you know, got married before having this, you know, your thoughts and your emotions is at a higher peak. It's not like the first, two layers of dimensions. This talking about building something with God. So this is like shadow work. Like no matter what someone do, they can't stop you with, right? And nobody can help you get to this type of stuff. They could try to. They could lead you to the water, but they can't make you drink it type of sense. Because no matter what, if you're not ready as a spirit to come talk to God yourself, you're not going to ever be able to obtain those type of thoughts, those type of feelings. AKA, now this is talking about being able to have sex with each other. Being able to understand why you having these higher thoughts and stuff, because now they're married, aka they became one with God. So when it's talking about Christians and y'all feeling like this is why y'all get married, this is why. Because when you would read in a certain Bible scripture, no matter how many times they edited and modified it before it gets super modified and watered down like the Bible today, you seen before it even got there, it was more based off of talking about super broad. It was talking about, you know, male and female. And then now today it's starting to just talk about marriage in general, right? So it's like they kind of modify things to make things fit the world today of the people. So they kind of work with the world in that sense. So they try to be like God, as in saying they see the world, but they really can't see the whole world. They don't really know what's on the whole world mind. They give y'all, that's what it's talking about. They give y'all this light and be like, hey, this the mind of the world, but they actually gave it to you. That's why you have reverse psychology, stereotypes, stuff like that. So when people look at movies, they think that a ghost can actually talk. They think that a person. So when they breaking that down, they can make it out of physical things and only physical things, even though they're talking about a book of a spirit, which a spirit do not want to be associated with anything, period. Not a fucking element, not a shape, not a form, not none of that. So when y'all doing this, not only is you not able to become married, the sex that you having is unblessed. You get what I'm saying? It's God ain't tell you to have sex like that. So now you're giving birth to their ideals and their rituals and stuff and helping them be able to come up with new ways to control people. Like, if y'all ever think about it, somebody be like, man, hey, I don't trust this, man. We need to have more security on our email and we need to have more. Next thing you know, we got more. And the real thing is you narrowing yourself down to having less and less actual life. You can't even live your own life. You're living their life more and more. So now it's getting to a sense that even out the day now, we barely have hours to ourselves. So they know that, because you can't give them hours to yourself. Therefore, you can't build a church and make sure the church is built with all those things that we're saying build in the church, which is talking about different allegories of breaking down the way that your mind should be set to be able to allow certain things to come in. See, when y'all went like blood and gold and all that stuff being associated with each other, silver, copper, all that is just talking about the different ways of you building this church, of the different ways of you setting the mind and how you knowing that the mind is set right with the tabernacle and all that. Bro, it get deep. I don't just sit here like I never read the Bible. I read it before, but the way that you read it now, it makes more sense. It do not contradict itself, because if you go in the Bible with the way that they're teaching everybody right now, or the way you're not even being taught and just going by what the world's saying, it's wrong, it's hell, it's demonic, it's literally a walking fucking big ass witchcraft. If it ain't helping you, it's against you. So it's like putting roots on yourself. So it's like, man, it's dangerous out here, bro. It's real dangerous out here, and people don't understand how deep it goes. So once they got you there, people already done put all their mind and their attention over there. They done got your ass in the sixth dimension. They got all of it. They got your feelings, your thoughts in the sixth dimension. They got you paying attention to it. So now, once they got you paying attention to this, it's the way. Only thing you can pay attention, only thoughts and feelings you deriving off of now, because it's an inverted world. So now once it went from the fourth, fifth to the sixth, now it's going from the sixth to the fifth to the fourth. Like, that's how it goes back in return. So like I said, the devil play in the background like what the shadow powers, which is why they call it shadow. They play in the hidden background like this, and next thing you know, they hit you with some bullshit, and you don't even know it, because you thinking like, hey, they trying to hit me from this end. They trying to hit me from that end. But before you already know it, they already hit you. So you already too late. When you was like, nah, man, men and women supposed to get married. Fuck gay people. They built a whole war to make genderism, to make all these different type of wars, because they know at the end of the day, unity will provide us to the right shit, bro. Unity, especially if everybody built a relationship with God first, right? And then build unity and have people around us that's with that, bro. Nobody want to get shot, none of that stuff. I was talking about that in my other video, bro. It would be completely different. See, and that's the thing. They don't want it like that. They want control over it. They want control over your security. They want control over it. And nothing is wrong with that to a degree. But when we letting them, I don't spit all over camera, y'all. But when we letting them break down and control it, they literally controlling every part of our life, all the way down to our personal self. And it's like crazy, because when you look at a relationship, you thinking that it's supposed to be with somebody else, right? According to the marriage and stuff. But you're supposed to have a relationship with yourself and have balance with yourself before you even come to other people, technically. And if you don't already, you need to find out why you're in a relationship. So this goes along with helping people while they're married, and go along with people that might not work out. Because y'all got to understand, it's some people in this world that can't even make themselves work out. And what I mean by that is, they have a thought, and then as soon as they start having a feeling behind it, it go to arguing with that thought. So they're men and they're not married. You see what I'm saying? They're not able to have sex, so they're not able to come up with something that fulfill both parts and both needs, like a fulfillment and an actual good action to take upon. So when we looking at this stuff, man, it get real deep, and that's the beauty of it. The more it's every day. Like, one thing about a real spiritual YouTube, they're never gonna run out of stuff, because it's the world, bro. It's too much to offer. We could go to breaking down a tree. We could break down the sexes in between the marriage of components, right? So if you have let me see, jumper cables, you have a red side, which is representing the what? You could say the masculine side, then you have a black side representing the what? You could say the feminine side. So even when you look at it, if you put both of them together, it's not gonna work. But if you put in them both on the same, you see what I'm saying? The same path, that's a difference. Like, it's a difference when they opposites that got to come together. So when it come down to gay marriage and stuff like that, they didn't have to actually explain it to be physical and stuff like that. And that's the reason why people get so offended by it, because they're like, bro, I can't help who I am. And we're not trying to control all that. That's some shit that they fuck you up with anyway. And with GMO and all these other type of foods and shit to make you think like that anyway. But anyway, the right way, no matter what you look at, no matter how it goes, it's always a his and a hers. And especially people that do construction. They know what I'm talking about. Especially people that do like cords and stuff. Like hookups. Like, if you run a quick simple one for something that everybody might have to do at home. If you get a DSL connecting cable, right? You got the cord that's coming out your wall. That cord that's coming out your wall, if you wanted to extend that, you have to add a female end to it. And then you have to add a female end to it, because the end you have we call the male, and that be the stick that's out. The female ends is ones that got the holes inside of it. Whether it's a plug in the wall, whether no matter what it is, they use this same shit to keep creating shit in the world, because that's what God wanted us to do. But they didn't want them to have control over it, which is the shadow powers. So at the end of the day, this is being showed to the world. No matter if you want to accept what I'm saying or not, the proof is in the pudding. Otherwise, shit wouldn't be happening. You have a gas pedal, you have a brake pedal, you have these two things where it's always okay. If this make it light, this got to make it heavy enough. I mean, if this make it too light, we can't have it too light. And at the same time, we can't have it too heavy. And everything with boats and all, too. So it's always talking about a balance. And it's not talking about just the genderized stuff. But if you want to look at it as in saying a right side being male and a left side being feminine, female, that's the way that we got to put it throughout the whole time. So now when I'm talking about the Bible, even to that now we can see that it's talking about this, even when it's talking about to marriage. And then now we can see how we bring it to the world outside of ourselves. So even if somebody felt like, oh, this is what it was talking about getting married to somebody else. No, it was talking about getting married to yourself. So then when we bring birth and having these sex, we can give birth to new things, new ideas, new ways to think, new ways to idea, like new ways to deal with shit, new feelings and emotions, all that, new reactions. That's what I mean by that. So it's to give different ways and different approaches in that way. But see, they want to give you a new way and a different way. So this is what create new Asians as well. So, bro, it's so much a different. I'm talking about you got to bum, 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 bum. You got to really like jab the shit out of these damn things and keep it pushing because it's so many different ways. It's like, you know how they say a million ways to die? Yes. And they're not talking about no some actual fucking death. They talking about death to like basically the spirit, something that can't die. So what they do, get the closest thing to it, which is his partner, the mind. So they control the mind, which is the world of the people. They can't control the heavens. They can't. So they try to persuade like they can. They try to be the God. They try to fulfill God and try to give you roles and stuff out to play. Like out in the heavens, how you got planets playing out their actions. They try to be that. They try to utilize the planets against us to have us working under them because of some energy they looked at. So they know what they looking at. They just choosing it to give us to us wrong. And that's what make the world look evil for the most part because everybody is thinking evil and they're putting it all together in a way and they don't know that it's evil. Whether you can see it or not, whether you're blind and can see, you're still putting it in there. You got Satanists that know what they're doing. And then you got people that's atheists and Christians that don't quite know and occultists and all different type of things where they don't know that they're playing out this power and they're playing out some type of demonic power for more for their self. And they don't even have to involve themselves with the world before getting themselves intact and then coming out to the world. They think they got to go out to the world and listen to the world first. Nah, bro. You ain't nobody going to tell you that you know yourself better than you. So when it comes down to self-reflecting and all that, none of that is going to be a deep part of you when you're able to accept what's going on with inside of you. You ain't got to accept the rest of the shit that's going on in the world. You trust me. You ain't got to accept it, but it's going to go on. But what you can control the acceptance of is within inside of you. See, now when you let them do that the opposite way, they're telling you to accept this. Accept that this is how much you get paid. Accept this is what you're going to do and how you're going to work and this is how you're going to do it. I'm telling you. And they're making it like, hey, you ain't got no choice. We're gonna fuck with every planet. We're going to fuck with all your actions. We'll fuck with your stability. We'll fuck with your Neptune. We'll fuck with your Mercury. We'll make it seem like the shit you were saying, which a lot of conscious people going to go through, is catastrophic. Like you're saying, kill the government and all this type of dumb junk. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they'll use that type of stuff against you. And no, yo, on this video, I'm not saying do that, nigga. You got to say that like 10 times. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm exposing a group that does stuff like that, that doesn't know what they're doing, right? Because you got to be very strict with this stuff. Because they be wanting, you know what I'm saying? They be on some tricky stuff. But anyway, when you looking at it, it all seems right now it's like it's big kids. And that's the reason why I say they're not even adults, because they don't really know what to do. So they kind of watch how the world going, right? See how everybody like, okay, everybody else accepting it. All right, let's jump over there. It's actually work. But they already know astrology actually works. They've been studying it for thousands of years. So they know that it works. Whether they keep up with anything, they're like, nah, we got to keep up with the mathematics of this, the mathematics of that. How this time work? How that work? Because you know why? Because they're trying to control the time and day. They're trying to control that. And he who controls time controls the world. So they know that. They like, yo, I got the time. I got the mind. I got everything in beneath that. I got everything they want to do. I can tell them how to do it, why it's not right, what they should do about it. So they'll never, ever be able to go get their information on their own. And if they go get it on their own by me fucking them up so much, they ain't going to be able to be fulfilled unless they're able to break nose everything I got on them. And Lord, I got strings from everywhere. So the Illuminati, the shadow powers that be, the whatever you want to call the motherfuckers, they all is like set in spider web. So don't get caught in the trap. And there's a lot of different ways to get in that trap. Like I was explaining earlier. So when we looking into marriage and stuff like that, it's not what these people wanted us to think. Straight up. And that's the thing. When they got you to that, they already knew what you thought when you went to arguing with it. Because they're like, what? How you going to argue with our stuff that we created? And we know we made this bullshit. And you gonna bring it in. Oh yeah, you bullshit. Come on. We'll fight you. We'll fight with you or against you. It don't matter. So that's why you got Christians, Satanists, and fucking atheists against you, with you. Oh, we with you, but you don't know it. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? Shadows. But anyways, man, I'm out, man. Hopefully that helps some people, and hopefully there ain't some people out there stressing themselves out in life and feeling like they have to be with somebody before they die and things like that. I probably should have said that in the beginning, but it's just real because some people out there living their life right now thinking like, oh, Lord, if I don't get married, or oh, snap, damn, by me having sex, does that mean I'm evil? And all this, that, there, and they understand it the wrong way. But at the end of the day, that still doesn't mean you should be out here just having sex. You still should treat your body like a temple, treat your body like, like what you want it to be treated, and not just have a lot of different things coming inside you, especially if you're a female, like on that type of note, because females is more, how I'm gonna say, observant, right? So these men is more of what? Push forward, and feminine energy is more like pull in, right? So if you look at it, it's more like even when you have sex, the man is the one, like both do it, right? But the male is the one that's mainly shooting forward, like this the one coming from here to you type of shit. That's what we mean by forward in that sense. So, and it's talking about going up, your pelvis and then creating a whole baby concept, all that, but it's not getting too deep into that. But just to show you like how it started off from the beginning, man. But anyways, man, I'm out, man, just to help y'all get different type of ideas. It just be crazy because there's gonna be people, like I said, that really feel like, yo, I should have a lot of sex then, or I shouldn't have none at all, and they get confused by it and be like, well, damn, God already judged me. So then they go to living on the edge road of this person judging you. So it defined them to make them believe that the judge of what they saying and they doing according to how they feel and how they thinking out and playing it out is right, which is wrong. So those type of people is not a person that you're going to be able to walk up to, which is the majority of people of the world, and be like, hey, do you know that the marriage was saying that you need to get yourself right? No, they're gonna be like, I'm right already. What you talking about? It's that person. If they would have, and it's gonna go from there, and they're not gonna realize that it was talking about just you in general. Down to talking about everybody else. We individuals, so at the same time, you got to talk about us separated and how each person is layered with their own path and shit. Like, start walking on other people's paths. That's why in the Bible we talk about not to be a follower so much and worship, because people like to go to war over bullshit. And that's another thing, being a Christian, like they might see this title and be ready to argue without even hearing it out, without even getting 18 minutes in, because it's going to hit that demon. It's going to hit that bit, and they're going to be like, nah, this ain't right, because you know why? The mind that they got is not right. So they're going to feel like everything that's not according to that mind is incorrect, which is that mind there is the mind that got you here in the first place. And it got us right now, got people that got to work until they 85 just to die for their grandkids and shit, not to be able to have nothing. The same type of world we living in with all these restrictions, and according to who? We don't even know who the fuck who. You got to name different people that's in a group. They don't even know what the fuck they doing no more. Like I said, a bunch of big ass kids that just want to be like, I want chocolate, want to eat chocolate all day, but don't realize to make their teeth bad, like dumb shit, man. So it's like, esoterically speaking though, I'm not talking about like actual, but that's really what's going on. So they esoteric fucking baby spirits. That's why I'm judging it like that. They judging it themselves. I don't have to judge it. God being a judge of that. You feel what I'm saying? So it's coming out to play. That's what it is. They don't know what they want to do with the world. They just want to control it. You ever seen Jimmy Neutron and all them? Any cartoon, they always got that evil person that want to control the world. You're like, for what? They don't have no purpose behind controlling the world. I just want to control the world and make it out of my own image. That's what it is like, bro. That we really live in. They little animated movies they keep trying to hit on. But man, anyways, man, I'm out. OG Drip.